Sure, it might be in a pile of wood chips, but more importantly, I've been in this position before. I've been looking for the perfect vehicle under $60,000 that has everything. I'm the guy that wants it all. I want luxury, I want rowdiness, I want power, I want speed, I want everything. And I've been here before, once before. I was in this position before, I wanted it all as well. But you see, there's more to it than that because I really enjoy the car that maybe is underappreciated or overlooked by the automotive community. With that being said, today we introduce to you my $55,000 supercar, the 2017 Jaguar F-Type SVR.
Welcome to Performance on Wheels. My name is Austin. My dad Todd and I make all types of different car videos, and today we introduce the 2017 Jaguar F-Type SVR. With a budget of $60,000, my dad set out to find the ultimate daily driver that he could find in that price range. Now, there are better performance cars in this price range. There's vehicles that you can find like high mileage C7 Z06s. The C6 Z06 is arguably in a similar realm as this car when it comes to performance. But when we take in the fact of luxury, this car is on an entirely another level than those high performance vehicles.
So I've been in this boat before. I've had a 2015 Jaguar F-Type R, so very similar car, and we'll talk about that in future videos. Today's video, by the way, is just an introduction to the channel. So if you were with us back in the day with the previous F-Type, welcome back. If you're tuning in for the first time, know that we're familiar with the brand. I'm pretty sure, Austin, just to go back in time here, when I got rid of the first F-Type, I said, don't leave. I promise you I'll be back. I'm a fan of the brand.
Actually, what's funny when we talk about a fan of the brand, you've owned a lot of cars in your life, right?
Yeah.
I think you have owned more vehicles from the JLR brand than any other automotive manufacturer.
True. When I got rid of the Range Rover Supercharger, I said, don't go anywhere. I'm a fan of the brand. We'll be back. When we bought a brand new Defender, we said, don't go anywhere. I'm a fan of the brand, we'll be back. Well, here we are. We're back with the F-Type SVR.
If you're not familiar with the vehicle we're standing next to right now, it is because it is one of only 1,873 built worldwide. And if I get my phone out right here to confirm, it is one of only 676 in the United States. And if you did your digging correctly, it's only one of 119 in this color combo in 2017.
Not just color combos, because we could break it down further. So Ultimate Black Coupe in 2017, and it's one of 119.
676 in the United States. This is a pretty rare cat that we're standing next to right now.
Yeah, it's kind of fun, right? And I was completely fine with going after another R and going after another rear-wheel drive R, and we'll talk about that in future videos. The rarity of the SVR is what lured me in.
And the SVR, what it is, let's talk about that for a minute. So in the early 90s, Jaguar was set out to basically come out with the fastest vehicle ever produced. They failed miserably. There was a lot of stuff going on which very greatly disheartened them, like the release of the greatest car ever built, if you've ever heard of it, the McLaren F1. They were going after having the fastest road-going car ever built. They came out with this crazy name. It was all over the news. The XJ220, set to go 220 miles an hour. Didn't do it, did 212, unfortunately. But it was still a fantastic car, one of the rarest vehicles in the entire world.
You got to see one.
And we got to see one in person, being serviced here in the state of Minnesota. Definitely a unique and amazing experience.
Kind of fun.
But Jaguar, back in 2014, they came out with the F-Type, and it was their goal, when the SVR came out in 2017, to take everything this platform had and take it to the absolute maximum.
Gave her the beans.
To performance. It got an additional horsepower bump. It got a revised all-wheel drive system. It got a revised suspension. It got lighter wheels. It got a fancier interior, and it had a top speed of 200 miles an hour. Before I let you take over, I want to bring up just a couple more things. We're talking about a low 3-second 0 to 60. thanks to 575 horsepower, 516
What is up?
pound-feet of
The
torque
DMV hooked me up.
being sent to all four wheels and a top speed of 200 miles an hour with these looks, with active aero, with that interior. That's supercar level territory.
Yeah, absolutely, Austin. Thanks for bringing all that up. And I will say, if we're talking about that starting MSRP, which was 125K plus,
any options
like
on it?
that,
the previous owner said this one was spec'd to around $135,000.
that changes my opinion and my conversation completely, right? So if I'm spending $130,000 on a car, I might be looking somewhere else. But on the used market, the F-Type, whether you're talking about the SVR or the R, like, I don't know that you can find a better bang for your buck. I really don't. That's why I'm back on the platform. That's why I'm back in an SVR here, like experiencing this for the first time. So I'm pretty darn excited to share our maintenance with you guys, our reliability concerns with you guys, our shenanigans with you guys.
Are you kidding me? That's it? What about autocross, BIR track days at Brainerd International Raceway?
Hear it here first, ladies and gentlemen. My son, Austin, is going to cover the cost of all my tires going forward.
Definitely like to keep people guessing with your car purchases, don't you?
I absolutely do, and people didn't see this one coming again. The people around my work were happy to see an F-Type out in the parking lot again. They know what it was because I did have the previous one. Just to go through some of the motions of my personal cars that I've daily driven, especially in the summertime. Started with the Challenger, went to a Nissan GT-R, went to the F-Type R, went to a C5 Corvette.
Random.
Went to a brand new BMW M240i. Went to a 17-foot long 600 horsepower sedan.
Still no idea why you bought that.
We can talk things through later, but anyways, and now we're back here, right? So like I was saying at the beginning of the video, I really enjoy the cars that people are like, why do you think that's cool, right? Or boy, aren't there a lot of issues with that? And I enjoy going through the motions with these vehicles, and that's what we will share with you guys. Obviously, I'm hoping you guys are here already hitting that subscribe and that like button, because this is just the beginning. Now, Austin, with this SVR and its spec, this one's only, okay, let's back up here for a second, all right? A big part of the SVR is they had to make it lighter, to make it go faster, to get up to the 200 miles per hour. Yep. So we'll just go through for the next minute here and kind of point out some of the subtleties that make the SVR different from the R. Whether you're looking for an R or an SVR, you can't go wrong. So let's just point some of the SVR differences out. So the weight savings was one of them. This is what I would call a lower spec, $130,000 SVR, right?
I have seen some of them nearing 150, so they could get up there a bit higher than this.
But this one, because it doesn't have the full carbon fiber like package, it doesn't have the roof, the brakes, stuff like that. Yep. This one's only about 55 pounds lighter than an F-Type R, and it gets there from the wheels, the exhaust, and some of the suspension components.
Yes, and not only that, but we have a kind of reworked exterior body on the SVR. We can now suck in more air because we have larger vents on the front end. We can now take more air out because we have larger vents on the side of it. And now we have better downforce as well, because this has probably one of the coolest rear diffusers and wing on any vehicle that I've ever seen.
I think the fixed wing, it's not fixed, I shouldn't say that, it's active aero carbon fiber wing. But
it doesn't have an aero brake, but it is active in the sense where it pops up about 2 inches and sets itself back to give it just a more aggressive stance.
Right, and you either see that under really heavy acceleration, or if you're just cruising and you hit 72 miles an hour is when you see that in your rear view kind of shift up a little bit.
Yeah, and it's kind of cool the way that it works too, because if you come to a complete stop, it still like kind of stays up a little bit. And if you slow down quick, it goes back down. It obviously has some type of air tunnel engineering that is done into it, that it does whatever it needs to when it thinks it needs to.
Right.
It's very cool watching it work.
So that wing over the R is like probably one of the reasons I went this route instead of going back with an R is I just think it's that cool. And you can get an SVR without the wing.
And the wing only comes finished in carbon fiber on all SVRs.
Pretty phenomenal. If I recall correctly, it's somewhere between like 170 and 190 additional pounds of downforce over just the little flap that comes up on the other models.
One of the things I find cool about the SVR is it does stick out over the R. There is enough substantial differences to the point where you can tell them apart going down the road. The biggest one that I seem to notice is the big vent along the side with the written out word Jaguar. That one definitely sticks out over any of the other models. However, those larger vents in the front, the entirely different hood in the sense where our vents go from down here being much more aggressive. They look really cool when you're behind the wheel, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, versus the smaller ones that are up towards the middle. So, but when you come to think of it, this might be a very expensive vehicle to repair in an accident.
Yeah.
You have a very rare hood, a very rare front bumper, a very rare side valance, a very rare rear bumper, a very rare wing.
Right.
All of these are extremely low production parts.
So you're talking about repairs. So I have to interrupt you and say this. This is cheaper to insure. This SVR is cheaper to insure than my Audi A8 was.
Wow, that's actually hilarious.
And as we mentioned briefly at the beginning of the video, it's not just the exterior that you can tell the difference. You pop the door on the SVR and you can see kind of that quilted stitch pattern or that diamond stitch pattern on the interior, which makes it stand out.
And that's the entire interior, the seats and everything. And on every SVR that I've seen, it has like a tri-tone dash. So the passenger side is one color and the driver's side is another color. There's also options where you can get Alcantara. I'm not the biggest fan of Alcantara personally. I love the leather everywhere. This one also has a full leather headliner.
Yep.
So it has another sense of elegance on the inside of it too, over the standard R. Now, I think that was a pretty fun introductory video. I just wanted to show off the F-Type. That was it.
Everyone has to know what the new daily driver is.
Yeah, it's amazing. And this spec is so cool. I know on camera you're never going to see it, but this paint is just covered in flake.
Right.
It is absolutely doused in flake, and under the correct sunlight, it just glistens and glows in the lighting. And then as you pop the inside, you have this gorgeous, which you can't even really see from the outside, absolutely gorgeous quilted red leather interior and the massive carbon fiber wing. What a cool spec. What a menacing looking car this is going down the road.
We will dive into the meat and the potatoes of the SVR and our ownership experience as time goes on here. Thank you for tuning in, and make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. The notification bell helps as well, so you know when we will release our next F-Type video.
Thank you guys, and look forward to seeing you soon.